Hi guys, welcome to part 5 of my PlayStation 3 collection videos. So let's just move right into it. I think the first thing I'm going to start off with are the Tales of series. First one I have here is Tales of Graces F, as well as Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. A series of RPGs that I haven't really spent too much time with. I have played a few of them. I'm primarily more familiar with some of the handheld versions, such as Tales of Eternia on the PlayStation Portable, as well as Tales of Symphonia on the Game Boy Advance. But I decided I wanted to pick up all the Tales games that are coming out for the PlayStation 3. They're all sealed at the moment. Haven't got around to playing them yet. And that's because I'm doing that intentionally. Right now, it's just about collecting them. They're definitely a series of RPGs that I do intend to play through, as they're very enjoyable. They're actually, I mean, as you would expect from sort of the JRPG, it is very much a traditional RPG in some aspects. But when it comes to the combat, it's all played in real time. Very similar to what you would expect from a beat-em-up game. So for me, for someone like myself who primarily from a gaming history standpoint, you know, comes from a mainly sort of fighting game background, for me this is a great entry point for RPGs for me. As the combat is very cool. It's definitely it works for me. I mean, I can't say too much about these two particular titles, but from what I have played of the Tales of games, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to checking out these games. I do believe that Tales of Symphonia Chronicles is actually two games in one. I believe it has the original game that came out on the GameCube, as well as the sequel that came out on the Wii. And then you've got Tales of Graces F, which, if memory serves, I think it was a Wii title. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure on that one. Or it might just have been a very old Tales game, because I know a lot of these Tales games were released on the PlayStation 3 in Japan. In some cases, years back. I think Tales of Graces F was one of them. But in any case, I'm really glad to have both these games, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting into them. And of course, I have Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2. These are definitely two games that I'm very curious to play. They look fantastic, and as you expect from a Tales of series of games, you know, the combat is again, it's you know, it's brain fart. It's free roaming. It's not turn based. So you know, again, they play like beat 'em ups. So just really glad to have these in the collection, and of course I will be getting the rest of the Tales games as they're released. I definitely look forward to getting into these at some point down the line. Next game I have here is Nier. This was quite an interesting title from Square Enix. It's a game that I still haven't gotten around to playing yet, but I think it was one of those sort of action RPGs that got a lot of mixed reviews from people, a lot of mixed opinions. I didn't really know whether to get this game or not, because some people tend to really enjoy this game, and other people just thought it was average at best. But from the footage that I'd seen, it looked really cool. And I just felt it was something special, and I felt that it's definitely one game that I look forward to getting into at some point down the line. Next one I have here is Valkyrie Chronicles. I have to say this game is fantastic. It's a 3D, almost open world, turn-based RPG, tactical RPG. It really is fantastic. It's sort of set in a fictional, early sort of war-torn past, sort of around the I believe sort of World War One era, but very much in its sort of own universe, not set in our universe. But it's fantastic the way you sort of get to pick your soldiers. Each soldier is a particular class, and there's various soldiers of the same class that you get to pick, each with their own distinctive personalities. You have to be sort of very careful with who you choose, as some soldiers work better with others, and it's really tactical that way. And also during the battles themselves, they're a lot of fun, very tense. Honestly, this is such an enjoyable game. I've actually had this game in my collection for a very long time before I actually decided to stick it in my machine, and it was really down to my friend who picked it up, and he told me how great it was, and I decided to stick it on, and I really did enjoy it. It's a fantastic title, and it's one that unfortunately didn't really get a lot of sales over here. And there was a sequel to this game that came out on the PlayStation Portable, but unfortunately the third game in the series never got a release here in the West. But I strongly urge people to check out Valkyrie Chronicles, especially if you like tactical RPGs. It's fantastic. If you like games like Advance Wars, that's basically what the game is, except it plays all in 3D. It's fantastic. A beautiful looking game as well. One of my favourites on the PlayStation 3 for sure. Next title I have here is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. It's still sealed, haven't gotten around to playing this yet, but you know, from what I've heard, it really is a fantastic RPG. You know, it's from Level 5, a well-known studio that's made some great RPGs in its time. The fact that they got together with the anime, renowned anime, I forgot his name now, flipping out. But you know, he's the guy that did Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. A lot of these sort of well-loved anime movies. He sort of teamed up with them, and they sort of created this game, and it looks beautiful. I can't wait to get into it at some point down the line. But you know, I will get into it at some point. I think with RPGs, I really do need to sort of put some time aside to really get into them. But this is definitely one that's really special to me, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. Next title I have here is this is the Telltale Games The Walking Dead. This is the Game of the Year edition. This is a point-and-click game, fantastic. It's set in the universe of the comics. It's very much its own storyline. It's kind of like a spin-off with its own set of characters. So you don't really need to have read the comics to play this game. I mean, this has got nothing to do with the TV show. The TV show is very much its own thing. This is set in the comics universe, and it's brilliant. I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of point-and-click games, but this one had me hooked. I've already completed it twice. It's absolutely brilliant. Definitely a high recommendation, especially if you like good storytelling. I already have the second season on pre-order, so I'm looking forward to that. But definitely give this game a chance. If you like a good story, definitely check this one out. Next title I have here, Blazblue, Calamity Trigger. A very cool 2D fighter from Arc System Works. My introduction to the Blazblue series. I mean, honestly, I'm not really a big fan of Blazblue. I mean, it's definitely a cool series. It's a cool set of 2D fighters, but I don't know. I mean, it's fun for sure, but I just the characters come off a little bit generic to me. But you know, I don't want to take anything away from the game itself, because it is a lot of fun, and I think if you're a fan of 2D fighters, you'll definitely enjoy the Blazblue series. But I don't know. I think for me, when it comes to Arc System Works, I kind of prefer their original series, the Guilty Gear franchise. But this is definitely a cool series of games in its own right. And this one itself, you know, it's got loads of extras, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's a solid fighter. Next one I have here is Arcana Hearts 3. This is the limited edition version. Another awesome 2D fighter. What makes this one quite cool is the fact that all the playable characters are female. It's just another solid 2D fighting series. I know the first two games in the series were never released in Europe. I do believe that Arcana Hearts 2 came out on the PlayStation 2. I know it came out in the US, but we never got it over here. So this is for me. This is my introduction to the Arcana Hearts series, and it's definitely a fun fighter. It's actually one of my favorites. I mean, it's kind of weird that all the characters are female, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and it plays great. Next game I have here is Sonic Generations. This game is brilliant. I was really anticipating this game before its release, and it's fantastic. It definitely, in my opinion, it kind of lived up to what it was trying to be. The sort of culmination of Sonic's past and Sonic's present. You know, just a mixture of 2D Sonic action with 3D Sonic action as well. Admittedly, I've always been more of a fan of the 2D games. I never really could get into the 3D ones, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they just weren't very good in general. But this one is fantastic. The way it switches between 2D and 3D, it just plays great, plays very seamless, and I like the storyline to it. It's very cool, and I do think this made a great celebration of Sonic's was it its 20th anniversary, I believe. But yeah, a fantastic game, definitely for Sonic fans, and yeah, it's definitely worth a playthrough. Next one I have here is the Simpsons game. Now, I've actually always wanted to pick up a Simpsons game, but normally they haven't really been very good in the past. But this one just looked really interesting to me. I like the fact that it was sort of like a 3D sort of action platformer, and it is a lot of fun. It definitely retains the Simpsons humour as you would expect. It's a very cool game, but I have to admit I actually got this game, you know, not that long ago. I mean, it's been about a year, I think, and this was a very early game in the PlayStation 3 library, so it does feel quite dated now. From a gameplay standpoint, it still looks really nice though, you know. But yeah, it is a little bit dated, and you kind of expect a bit more now from 3D platformers. But it's a lot of fun. I think if you're a fan of The Simpsons, I think there's definitely a lot to enjoy in this game. Next one I have here is Rayman Origins, which I'm ashamed to say I still haven't played it. It's still sealed. It's definitely one I've been meaning to play. As strangely, I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it yet, as I am a huge fan of Rayman, or more specifically, I'm a huge fan of 2D Rayman. The original game that came out on the PlayStation 1, I loved that game. It was one of the first games I picked up for the PS1, and I kind of fell out with the series once it sort of moved into 3D. But you know, when this game came out, you know, it was definitely worth picking up. As I do like my 2D platformers, that's really, you know, the sort of genre style that I've enjoyed. I've never really got into 3D platformers much. For me, it's just really about the 2D platforming, and you know, I definitely look forward to playing this one, as I've heard nothing but good things. Next game I have here is Motorstorm Pacific Rift. This is an excellent action arcade racing title. There's 3 games in the Motorstorm series, but for me this is the best one. This is the second one in the series. I love the level designs in this game. I think the third one just seemed a little bit too gimmicky, and the first one I don't think really offered that much, but this one I think struck a nice balance of sort of crazy out there levels. The vehicles all move really well. It's a very fast-paced game, and I do enjoy the mechanics of it. It's a lot of fun. Strangely, it's one of those titles that I always sort of spent more time playing the demo and just never got round to picking it up. But now that I finally have it, it's just so much fun to play. It really is a joy, and it's one of my favourite races on the PlayStation 3. Next one I have here is Sega Rally. I've always been a fan of the Sega Rally series since the arcade games back in the day. This is a brilliant game, just so much fun. If you like rallying games, you'll definitely enjoy this. Very arcadey, it's a lot of fun. You know, what more can I say about Sega Rally? It's definitely worth picking up. It's a very cheap title now, so yeah, definitely worth checking out, guys. Next one I have here is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It's a very fun title, I have to say. This definitely reinvigorated my interest in the Need for Speed series. I do like the more Hot Pursuit aspect, because there's so many games in the Need for Speed series now that kind of highlight different aspects of the series. But for me, it's all about Hot Pursuit. I do like the fact that you can play as a street racer and you're being chased by the cops, or you can actually play as the cops themselves and go after the speed racers. It's a lot of fun, but if I'm honest, the game does kind of wear out after a while. You do kind of get tired of it, but it is a lot of fun, and the levels are really long and enjoyable. But I don't know, I just don't find it quite as much fun as say Motorstorm Pacific Rift. Next one I have here is Sonic Sega AllStars Racing. Probably the first karting game that I've ever really owned. I've never really bought into the kart racing genre. They are a lot of fun to play, admittedly, but you know, for whatever reason, I just don't naturally, you know, I'm not naturally drawn to them. But this was the first one I decided to take a chance on, and it's so much fun. This game plays fantastic. I know a lot of people tend to prefer the Mario Kart series, but you know, this game is a lot of fun in its own right, and I think it would be a mistake to just dismiss the title just because you prefer Mario Kart. I think there's definitely room for more than one karting series out there, and I definitely think that Sonic All-Stars Racing is one of the best karting games out there. And last, but certainly not least, is Under Defeat HD Deluxe Edition. This is an excellent and one of the very, very few shoot 'em ups on the PlayStation 3, unfortunately. At least over here in the West, that got a Western release. This is very much sort of like an updated remake of the Dreamcast title, and it's fantastic. You pilot a helicopter. What's quite unique about it is the way you maneuver across the level, as opposed to just moving sort of from left to right. You sort of move in a sort of semicircle sort of direction. It's really cool. It does play more what you would expect from a helicopter as opposed to a jet or a spaceship or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's beautiful. You can also play the Dreamcast original as well. You do have that option, and it's a lot of fun. If you like shoot 'em ups, it's definitely one to check out. So that's it, guys. That is it. That is the final part. This is the end of my PlayStation 3 collection, guys. Thank you very much, guys, for watching all the videos. I'm very sorry. I know they haven't really been that frequent, but you know, we're finally here. We're finally to the end. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And of course, I always appreciate your feedback. Let me know what you guys think, and I will be back very soon. Bye bye.